traders, one of the questions that I get quite often is how do we minimize, there's no way to prevent this, but how do we minimize from being rope-a-doped into shorts on a day like today? So first of all, let's remember that a lot of why today moved as it has is the influence of the head of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, day 2, Humphrey Hawkins' testimony. We don't want to fade Powell, especially when he's talking about the economy and really set the stage yesterday in his testimony about the fact that the economy is not heated up. They're not going to change their monetary policy. And so all the fears that the long bond and that federal funds rates tended to suggest sort of came to pass. And as I was mentioning to the folks in the futures room, I said, look, Powell basically said, I've got a bigger bazooka. And for now, it's hard to argue with that. So then we end up with this morning where it almost feels like, oh, here we go again. But just like yesterday where I was not interested in shorts, today I'm even less interested in shorts because I have a much better idea of what Powell is likely to back up from his statements yesterday. We already know what he's thinking and saying, and so we just figure it's going to be more of the same. So how do we keep from getting pulled into a short when the clearing range breaks? And I'm showing you the NQ, and here's that clearing range breaking in here. So what I do is I look at two things. One, I'll look at volatility. Volatility was breaking too. So that's something to keep in mind in terms of the morning range. But sort of the not so secret weapon is understanding the standard deviation of, in this case, volume weighted average price, and that this market, once the bell rang, never got below that VWAP low that we established back here. Now that VWAP low is anchored from the 7 a.m. Eastern candle. So I'm anchoring it from here. And then I'm monitoring what the lowest low was. And this is some basic stuff we do every morning to prep for the open and just determine where our low would be. And, I've been kind of jokingly calling this that garden lady low. So if you get that, and it's not going to happen often, but it's a heck of a great place to build a long position. So first of all, the main topic is how do you keep from getting short when it looks like all indications suggest we could have a much weaker morning, or at least some more weakness in more movement to the downside. And I guess what I'll say is again and again, look at the volatility levels. Those were broken. Look at the range that the market is putting in. Is it within normal historical volatility for the 9 to 10 o'clock hour? And then look at the V-score low and ask yourself, have we broken it yet? And we didn't even come close. We did not even come close. So once the market goes double green, this is your pass. That's your okay. That's your permission for more movement to the upside. Let's take a look at the other index. I don't want to pick out one well-chosen example, gang. You'll notice we go through lots of examples in these videos because I want to show you it's the same process. It's the same thinking in each one of these indices. All right, so in this case, the Dow is easy. Look, the Dow has been the relative outperformer, and one of the things that I mentioned in Charts and Coffee was that if I was connecting the dots and having to choose which index would probably outperform in the midst of the sort of the sell-off, it would probably be the Dow because of the strength in commodities, specifically crude oil and in copper. And if you didn't check out the latest episode of Countdown Trader, those two canaries in a coal mine, please do. It's a free newsletter. It's out countdowntrader.com, and it'll walk you through sort of the reflation trade. And gang, I know we talk about indices a lot, but I believe this move into more long positions in commodities is still underway. So we're going to take some time to go grocery shopping in some of these upcoming videos, because as much as the stonk market is back up, I do want you having exposure in some of these commodities. That's where the reflation trade really will sing. Copper, crude are just showing you, I believe, a glimpse of what is to come. I'll see you in the next update.